Hello, Sunshine. I'm really glad you're here and that you're taking this time for yourself. I'm Kylie Kwon, a self development life coach. I'm also a divorced single woman in her 50s, mom of two, an empty nester, and someone who's still figuring things out just like you. This is the Journal with Me series, a daily practice of slowing down, getting honest and truthful with yourself, and reconnecting with what you think, want, need, and desire. Journaling is a sacred practice and a sacred space, not to fix your life, but to pause, to hear and truthfully listen to yourself. This practice is really all about getting to know yourself more deeply and building courage to align with what matters most to you, who you want to be, and the life you want to live. It's about choosing honesty over your old programming, your past experiences, and all the external pressures outside of yourself. And remembering that real change happens one reflection, one pause, one page, and one small decision at a time. You are never too late. And this is your invitation to give yourself permission to choose you. Everything that we desire begins with us. It always begins with me, myself, and I. I'll be journaling for 15 minutes, and you're welcome to join me the entire time, shorten the practice, or pause the episode and keep writing, whatever works for you today. So grab your journal and something to write with, and today's prompt is, what pressure am I carrying that doesn't actually belong to me? What pressure am I carrying that doesn't actually belong to me? Trust me, I totally understand what it feels like to feel like you're late to the game of life. I spent nearly 2 decades as a stay at home mom, a wife, and a homemaker. And when I entered the workforce after my divorce, it definitely felt like I was late to a career or even the ability to financially support myself after such a long time away from the workforce. But our perception creates our reality. And we really do overestimate what we can accomplish in the short term and underestimate what we can actually accomplish in the long term. I started my career at the age of 44, only after my divorce, and purely out of survival. I was able to build my career and go from stay at home mom to having multiple minimum wage jobs to becoming COO of a life coaching certification academy for a best selling author. And at the age of 50, I became an entrepreneur and started my life coaching business. And at the age of 51, I moved myself across the country to fulfill my lifelong dream of living in a city and having more of an urban lifestyle. And also, for the first time in my entire life, living alone. Life is long, and we go through multiple transitions, reinventions, and chapters throughout our lives. And it doesn't matter what decade of life you're in. You're actually never too late to begin again at any age. And on the journey of life, as a spiritual being having a human experience, you're never, ever too late. Oftentimes, we set these expectations and measurements onto our lives and the things we need to accomplish, but really, most of it isn't even ours. It's our programming, it's things that are influenced by our past experiences, and the external noise from people in our lives and society. So, I want you to take this time to reflect. What pressure am I carrying that doesn't actually belong to me? So, I'll set the timer for 15 minutes. And let's get started.
음. 음.
Um, I'm really glad that you were able to join me today and that you took this time for yourself. Journaling doesn't always bring clarity right away. And the truth is that you don't actually need full clarity to keep moving yourself forward. Sometimes being honest is enough to reveal your next right step. No matter how small that step may be, those little steps really build and compound over time. If anything came up for you, you're welcome to share it in the comments. Your words might actually support someone else who's on a similar path. And I want you to always remember, you are not lost, you are not behind, you're becoming. Till next time, bye for now.